What is up, early gang? Early girly gang. Early Gucci girly gang. How we doing, beautiful people? What's good? What's up, Big Net? I don't know where my, there it is. There it is. Let's go. What's up, Pineapple? How we doing, my friend? It has been too long. It's been too long. A whole week without you guys, it feels like. Has it been a whole week? It's been a whole week without you. I've missed you. I missed you all. I hope you've been well. I'm happy to be back with you. I don't know why this microphone is feeding back so much this time, but I'm so happy to be back. Wood's not happy. Did you hear it yelling at me? Don't fuss. Don't fuss at me. That was fussing. That was 100% fussing. There we go. Yes! It is good to be back. We got big plans, folks. But before we get back, we've actually got to leave again. So I'll be here today, but Tuesday and Wednesday I'll be out again. Thursday I'll be back, and then I should be back for the foreseeable future. And I'll do my best to do some bonus streams to make it up to you guys. I feel terrible. I feel guilty. I don't like missing streams. I really like being here. I don't want to not be here, but a lot has been going on. It has been, I swear I keep seeing something crawling on my desk and it's freaking me out. Is there any chance there's a critter on my desk? No. I'm a little concerned something might be living inside my keyboard. You go out of town for a couple days. You go out of town for a couple days and something inhabits your keyboard. I don't want to take my eyes off of it because what keeps happening is it does it in my periphery. So I'm telling myself, maybe if I don't break eye contact, I'll see it walk by. Has anybody ever heard of such a thing? I've never heard of such a thing. But yes, we're back here for a little bit, and then we'll be back for good right after that. But it is kind of going to be another weird couple days, tomorrow and Wednesday. Do you have compressed air? I do. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea, but I'd like to see it before I just start going at it, you know? I'd like to know I'm not just losing my marbles. Because it's very possible I'm just losing my marbles. Little concerned, a little scared. It's all right. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're fine. I'm fine. You're fine. Folks, we got a jam-packed stream today. A jam-packed stream. First things first, we're going to talk about LTNCon. Give you a little the old debrief of all the good things that happened there, and where I went, where I was, what I did there, and all the good times that were had by all. Then we've got a ton of Pokemon cards to unbox. Then we're going to do a little tier maker with a debate that is currently hitting the internet by storm. And then we're going to close it up with the rest of our time left on stream with Pokemon White. See how much more progress we can make in that game. So that is the game plan for today's stream. I hope you're excited to be here. I'm glad to have you here with us. Glad to be here with you. I'm going to go drop over in chat point, let people know that we are live over in our Discord. We'll do a get over here. It's a classic. Is that confusing though? Are people going to think that we're playing Mortal Kombat? Folks, I've been playing a ton of Overwatch 2, and then I went away. But I've really been playing a lot. Like the game I've played the most What game do you recommend getting back into Pokemon with? That's a really hard question. What do you like about, or what did you like about Pokemon? What was your favorite part of Pokemon when you did play it? The game that got me back in was Sun and Moon, but I've heard a lot of people poo-poo on that game. It was transformational for me. It was the game that got me back into the thing, but I understand that for a lot of people, it's pretty cringe. So who could say? But I think that it depends on what you're wanting to get into. From what I understand, Black and White and Black White 2 are the like culmination of storytelling in Pokemon. Also, what was the last Pokemon you played? That would be another important question. Last Pokemon you played, and why did you like it? That would be the questions that would help me determine your future of Pokemons. That would be the big question. Depending on your answer, that's how I'll work some magic here. But yes, we went to LTNCon, Love Thy Nerd. It was an awesome time. So that was where I went last week. I was gone for Monday and Tuesday for pastor's school up in Durham in North Carolina. And then Wednesday, just kind of got as much done at the office as I possibly could because I had to go out of town Thursday to Indiana. So I went to New Albany, Indiana on Thursday. Drove the entire day. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, for those of you that don't know. Southern end of North Carolina. So drove up to Asheville, over to Tennessee, not quite Nashville, but just over the mountains of Tennessee, up through Kentucky, all the way up Kentucky, the entirety of Kentucky, all the way up to Louisville, onto the other side of the river, and then into the wonderful place known as New Albany, Indiana. It was an adorable little town. If you ever get the chance to go to Louisville, Kentucky, and you're looking for a place to stay, I don't know anything about Louisville. It could be a wonderful place to stay, but New Albany was a delight. The Airbnb I was at was delightfully charming. I'm going to leave them a review soon. The little town was just as cute as could be. The way I've been describing it is any of you that have ever been to Charleston or any other port city, it felt like you took a small little suburb of one of those big port cities and you cut it out with like a cake slicer and you picked it up and you put it in front of a river. And that was it. That was my experience. That was the town. Beautiful, breathtaking, loved it. Thursday, like I said, all driving pretty much. Till Thursday night, we had a Fellowship of the Nerd event over at the church that was hosting it. Sojourn New Albany was hosting it. So we went in there. What's up, Flat Cat Dapper Pastor? FCDP, you matter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, thanks for the follow. Q Flutes, appreciate ya. Appreciate the follow. So, as we continued our journey, we had Fellowship of the Nerd that first Thursday night. That was kind of a smaller, more intimate gathering of folks that contribute financially to Checkpoint, to Love Thy Nerd. You can support financially, Checkpoint Church, please do. But these were people for Love Thy Nerd. So these were the people who are supporting them financially. We got to play some games together, hang out together, do some giveaways, get to fellowship with one another, kind of exclusively to get to hear more from each other. Get to hear from Bubba as the CEO now instead of in his former role, and just kind of get some vibes about all of that stuff. Then Friday morning, woke up first thing in the morning and went over to hang out with the Checkpoint Church folks that were present. Sneaky Pigs was there, Zando was there, and Trombone Dalek were all there. So the four of us went out to a brunch before everything got started on Friday. And had a delightful brunch. They had a chorizo, sausage, and gravy. Mwah! Delicious. Perfection. Fantastic meal. Great time had by all. It was good to see everybody and to get to meet Sneaky for the first time in person. I'd met Zando not quite a year ago, but like 8 months ago, probably here in Charlotte, whenever his wife had to fly in for a wedding. And then Trombone doesn't live far from me at all, so I've met her a couple times. And then this was the first time meeting Sneaky. It was a great time, had a ton of fun. We played games all day. We hung out all day. We had so much fun. We had our keynote speaker that night in Jacqueline Parrish from Southwestern Baptist Theological. Did a great job talking about why nerds make the best friends and what we can learn from friendships around the table, such as with D&D. I think that was her specialty, was D&D. It was a good conversation. And then for those of you that don't know, my brother let me know like a month ago that they were getting married on Saturday. And so I drove from Indiana all the way down to Charlotte to get there just in time to play at the wedding. We played some Chris Stapleton, for those of you that like Chris Stapleton music. And played for a wedding. It was a beautiful wedding, wonderful time. Small, intimate family wedding, nothing too crazy or too huge. Great time, shared it with each other, enjoyed time, and then went home and I slept, and I slept, and I slept. Oh, it was a dream. It was a dream. I slept so much. I slept so much because I did not sleep at all over the course of LTNCon, really. I slept for like 4 hours each night. What's up, Trombone? Trombone knows what I'm talking about. Have you recovered? Is today recovery day, Trombone, or are you working? Oh, you're working. Bless you, Trombone. Me and you, we're working. We're working despite our exhaustion. Nope. No day off for Trombone. Well, it was a blast, and it was good to see Trombone and play some games together. The games that I played, let's see, I learned several games. I learned Goat, Taco, Cat, Pizza, whatever. I learned that one. I learned Splendor. I learned Super Camelot. I learned Love Letter. I learned more than this. I'm just trying to think. I learned Quicks, Taco, Cat, Goat, Cheese, Pizza. Nailed it. I learned Monster Hunt. I did not learn The Crew. I did not learn The Crew. That was sneaky and Xanda. I would have loved to have learned it. I still have yet to learn that game. I think the Hallmark game of the week was either going to be Super Camelot or Splendor for me. I really got hooked on Splendor. My goal was to try and play games that I had never either heard of or had never played before, if I had heard of them. And I succeeded. I think Super Camelot was a real highlight. I really enjoyed the components of that one and the way that it played. For those of you who have never heard of Super Camelot, it is a Zelda-like board game, TTRPG. So literally you start with like 4 panels of a game screen. They look like 4 squares, and whenever you go to the next zone, it loads just like in Zelda with the enemies and the baddies. And then as you expand out, that you auto-generate and auto-populate a surrounding map. So you end up with like a 4x4 panel of a Zelda game by the end of everything. And it's you and up to 4 friends who are playing as these characters from Camelot, such as Guinevere, such as Arthur, such as Lancelot. And you're searching for either 40 rupees, basically. You're either searching for 40 rupees or the 3 pieces of I don't know what it called them. 3 relics, the 3 special relics, and whichever you get to first. Whenever you get the 3 relics, you got to make it back to the castle where you started, and then you can collect the Holy Grail. It's real fun. Everybody starts with the same equipment, but you can find small chests that will give you different items. So you start with everybody has a sword and a shield, but you can unlock things like a slingshot or a gauntlet or a bow and arrow or what have you. I unlocked the magnet and slayed, dude. Let me tell you, your boy won because your boy got the magnet, okay? The magnet was a game changer. It was super fun, gorgeous art, loved the play style, really wanted to win it, and did not. I just learned I did not win it. They did play to wins. So that is where they literally had like a dozen games that were just on tables. And when you got done you would pick them up and play them. When you got done playing, you would sign a sheet of paper that said, I played this game, and you were entered in for a chance to win that copy of the game. So I'm gonna have to look into Super Camelot because it was real fun. Real fun. FCDP, you said you were gonna send me a DM soon. Got you. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'd love to learn more. I hate to say that I haven't been poking around the Discord that FCDP invited me to recently because it's been a busy month. October's been crazy. Anybody else had a crazy October? October hasn't made sense to me. I haven't like breathed. I feel like October 1st happened and I've like held my breath ever since, and I haven't lived since then. But yeah, I think that was it. I think that was all the games I played. I'm really racking my brain here, trying to remember if there were any other games that I played. I watched the Movigites play Radlands, and that looked super cool. The aesthetic of that game was gorgeous. It reminded me of like, I don't even know, like Cyberpunk meets Mad Max. Yeah, real cool, real fun stuff. Was there anything else? That feels like all the games I played. Played a ton of games. Had some great fellowship, some great time had by all. Should have taken more pictures. Didn't get selfies with anyone. Literally got one picture of the four of us playing a game together, and the picture didn't turn out very well. I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna post it, but it really looks pretty rough. It looks pretty rough. Oh, but it was a lot of fun. A great weekend. The next time they have LTNCon, I'm gonna push really hard. Like I did this time. I pushed pretty hard this time, but I'm gonna push even harder next time because I have an even better idea of what it looks like, what it's gonna look like. Maybe we'll look into a Checkpoint Church sponsorship or working with, or whatever it may look like to host that space together. You know, if things go well, there shouldn't be another wedding because I'm out of siblings. Both my siblings are married now, so we should be all good there. No more weddings happening on the day of LTNCon, but as long as it's close enough that I can keep driving, that's wonderful. I do think I'm going to be going to Colorado next April, so that'll be fun for another convention. I like, you know, that's my favorite part about doing church planning ministry is just the opportunities to go. Do they have the next one planned yet? They do not. If I had to guess, I would predict the next one will probably be online, maybe in the spring, and then another IRL one in the fall. Just from cursory conversations, nothing set in stone. Don't hold me to this or hold their feet to the fire over this. They were talking about November, but who knows? Who could say? Apparently everything happened in October, and that was the reason they were kind of like, woof, maybe we should have done it in November. Because Matt Warmbier was in Germany, and then there's this, and then there was LTNCon. And then there's some kind of super top secret summit of a bunch of Twitch pastors. And then Bubba's going to an esports convention of some sort. And that's just October, man. That's just the month. And I feel it. I'm just as busy with different things. The only one of those that overlap was LTNCon for me. But, yeah. Also, I got to try Buc-ee's for the first time. And your boy loved Buc-ee's. It was so fun. I had to get some swag whenever I was there because it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. For those of you that ever heard of a Buc-ee's, dude, wild. It was a gas station with a traffic circle, man. A traffic circle? Come on. A traffic circle? Insane. It was delightful. There were probably 120 gas pumps. The store reminded me, I don't even know. It just reminded me of a theme park, man. It was a blast. Buc-ee's is a destination. It was an absolute destination that you had to go. My parents were so excited to go to one, go to one on their way to Florida for our family vacation a couple weeks back. Yeah, I had to try it. I went, had a blast. Very fun. I think whenever you're driving, I got some of their. Apparently, they're known for their jerky, so I got their peppered beef jerky. It was delish. I even got their gummy worms, and I should have bought 10 bags because I got their gummy worms thinking these were going to be fine, right? I was like, your boy likes candy, so it's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy them. They weren't just good gummy worms, okay? They were primo. They were the finest gummy worms I'd had in a long time. So, loved them. All about them. Buc-ee's was fun. I had their brisket. That was the thing, right? I was there at 7:30 in the morning, and they're singing songs back in the kitchen. I don't know what you had to order to get them to sing. They were singing songs back in the kitchen, and you go out in the front, and there's this guy just chopping brisket at 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 in the morning, just chopping brisket while they're singing songs. I was like, man, this place. This is like Disney. This is like Disney World. So, yeah, that was the one in Kentucky. Richmond, Kentucky. Is Richmond, Kentucky a thing? No. What am I thinking of? I don't know. But it was in Kentucky, and it was delightful. On the way up, I dropped over in our Discord and asked anybody for advice on where I should eat on the road. And maybe 30 Bats recommended to me Dad's Favorites Deli in Lexington, Kentucky, which is coincidentally also where Bats, of course, went to seminary at Asbury. And so I was like, hey, look, if somebody has a spot that they know well enough that they remember the name of, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try that food. And so I went, and it was amazing. It was delicious. I went through the line, and the line was crazy, first off. But I went through the line, and it was already a lengthy enough experience because the line was to the door. And it wasn't anything nice. I mean, thankfully, Bats kind of set me up well. Because when I got there, Bats was like, hey, look, it's next to a cobbler in the back of a strip mall. And it was 100% next to a cobbler and a seamstress in the back of a strip mall. So it was nothing too fancy. But the line was all the way to the front door of the breezeway of the strip mall. And I was like, whew, I do not have time. I was like, I gotta get to Indiana. I don't have time to just stand here. But Bats recommended it. I'm here already. I'm already out of the car. Might as well press onward. So I look up the menu, I look up the recipe, I look up all the stuff, and I'm like, what am I gonna get? And I saw they had like a roast beef, and they're known for their like cheese spread. So I saw cheese spread roast beef. I was like, that sounds fine. Sounds pretty good. That's probably what I'm gonna get. I kind of want like a cheese steaky thing. That sounds pretty good. So I get up to the front of the line, and as soon as I get through the doorway where I can actually hear what people are ordering, everybody's ordering this Rushmore thing. They're like, yeah, I'll have the special Rushmore. And there are these two guys in front of me in particular that are talking about the Old Testament. I'm sure they're from Asbury as well. They're talking about the Old Testament, and they get up to the front. They're about to order, and it's a younger guy and an older guy. And the younger guy's like, I've never been here before. And the older guy's like, well, what are you thinking about ordering? And the younger guy was like, I don't know. And the older guy was like, well, do you trust me? I was like, okay, all right. Well, this is getting pretty serious for a conversation over a sandwich. But the old guy says, if you trust me, just order the Rushmore. Just trust me. It's going to be a great experience. So I was like, I got to try this Rushmore, okay? I'm gonna need to know what's on this sandwich. So I get up to the front because there are things that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of sauerkraut. I'm not a big fan of fish. I'm not a big fan of a bunch of like random foods. And so when I got up to the front, I was like, hey, look, I saw you had your special, you had your Reuben, your Rachel, and your Rushmore. Found the descriptions of the Reuben and Rachel. What's the deal with the Rushmore? And he said, oh, what's our number 5? And I said, boom. That's what I was planning on getting. I was going to get the number 5. You're adding stuff to the number 5. Boom. You have me. I'm sold. He said, well, hang on. Let me tell you what's on it. He said, all right, it's our roast beef and our cheddar spread, bacon, barbecue, sauce, onion straws. I was like, that sounds fantastic. Sounds like a barbecue burger. Love it. Big fan of what you're talking about. And he said, and we have a special cheese sauce that you dip it into. I mean, come on. What did you... Did he not see my body? Did he not see that this is something that I would love? Okay, I'm a portly fella. Sounds fantastic. And so I get there, I get my sandwich, I dip it in the cheese sauce, I take a bite into it. Heaven, pure bliss. Pure bliss. Fantastic. Stop by Dad's Favorites if you go to Lexington, Kentucky, or if you're driving through Kentucky. It will look like a strip mall. It may have a line, but it's fantastic. Delicious sandwich if you're looking for a good sandwich. And I'm somebody that knows a sandwich, okay? I worked at Subway for a long time. I'm a sandwich artist, okay? I'm a verifiable sandwich artist for 5 years. I know sandwiches, okay? I know a sandwich. And this was a good sandwich. All right, folks, we got to get into some of the scheduled things for the day, don't we? We got to get into at least one of the scheduled things, don't we? So, I said that I wouldn't buy any more Pokemon Go cards. But then I saw my Bulbasaur pin. And my Bulbasaur pin looked, I thought, and this is just me here, this is just my interpretation, I thought he looked lonely, okay? And so, it feels morally right to go and give him a little friend. So I got him a little friend, this little Squirtle friend here, a little Squirtle pin. I thought that felt good. That felt like the right thing to do. And that was going to be the plan for today. And then Sneaky Pigs, who is currently on a 12-hour layover in wherever, so he's going to have to watch the VOD. But Sneaky walks over as I'm like digging stuff out for LTNCon, and he says, Nate, I got you a gift here. I said, what'd you do? What'd you get me? He holds up these bad boys. He got me the Dragonite Premier V-Star and a Snorlax box. You know how many cards this is? We got 4 booster packs in this bad boy alone. I think we got 9 in this one. And then I'm pretty sure we got 4 in here as well. Is that right? 3 in here. 3 in here. So we have 16, We got 16 boosters to open today, and doggone it, if they're in a Ditto in one of them, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lose me marbles, okay? Because that is wrong. It's wrong if I somehow do not get this. I'm so sorry if you hear the leaf blower in the background. I don't know why they're feeling the need to leaf blow at 1:20 in the afternoon, but they are. So here we are. Here we go. And hopefully it's not too awfully loud for you guys as it is for me in my ear. I do know there's like a thing that you can turn on to like mute background sounds, but I doubt I can do that right now. So we're gonna get everything set up for our Pokemon unboxing here. Or I guess, you know what, we'll let this charge a little bit more, and I will, I'll show you guys the contents of all this first before we do our card unboxing. As is customary. This is what we normally do. This is pretty par for the course. I'm gonna go ahead and change our category to trading cards. Hang on one moment. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Pokemon trading card game. Nope. They really are. They're just leaf blowing, man. They're like, it's 1 o'clock. Nobody's doing anything important at 1 o'clock. Who's doing important things at 1 o'clock? Nobody. Should we do this 8 o'clock in the morning or before people get here? Thanks for your lurk, FCDP. You think there might be a better time to do this? I doubt it. Just, you know, do it now. Just do it now. No time like the present, right? No time like the present. So we start out with our Squirtle card. He's very cute. He's very cute. He's got a little present. He's got a little present. Look at the boy. Look at the boy. He loves life. And he's got a great little pin. I really do love these for the pins. I'm kind of obviously hamming it up a little bit, but I really do. I like these pins a lot. They're very nice. All right. And then we got our 3 packs. 1, 2, 3 packs. Just in this. And this is all that was planned for today until Sneaky stepped into things and made it all the more exciting. So we'll start with our Snorlax box, because I don't really know what's in here. We'll find out what's inside Mr. Snorlax here. See what the dealio is. Hopefully they should be wrapping up soon. Whoa! I don't normally buy these. I don't normally buy the collector's tins. So this will be a little different for me. All right, there's our 4 packs. Our 4 packs. Comes a little divider in there to help sort everything out and make it look nice. Gotta make it look nice. Alright, then we have our Snorlax and a Pikachu. So it's actually 2 promo cards. Interesting. Snorlax and a Pikachu. Very cute. Cute, cute. And then they also gave us some stickers. Aw, they folded the sticker. I wish they wouldn't have folded it. But I do love Blissey. I love Blissey. Love Pikachu, love Snorlax. Great characters. Folded, but great. There we go. Got some more Pokemon Go codes. Now we're gonna find out what's inside this bad boy. I've never gotten one of these before. This is like the bougie. This is the bougie. These are hard to find. I don't even know how he found it. The Premier Deck Holder Collection. I think it comes with a Pokeball. I think. It's, like I said, I have never gotten this. I've at least gotten a tin before. Let's see. If you open this bad boy up, it slides right out. So we got a protective sleeve here. All right, and then you open up what's inside. Sure enough, it is a Pokeball. Wow. Ooh, oh, this is nicer than the tins. Now I have plenty of the tins, but this is, that's plastic, baby. That ain't tin. Whoa. Okay, it's a deck holder, sure enough. So it's straight up, just has the carved out section for a deck holder. Got the little protective holes there that hold it all together. Nice! Premier Ball, the bougie ball. The ball you get for spending money. The ball that says, thank you for spending your money. Thank you for spending your Poke coins. Here's what we have for you. Love it. Love it. All right, let's see. So we got our Dragonite V V card in there, V-Star card. It's dope art. Love it. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 packs. 9 packs of Pokemon Go. How many will this make at this point, you guys? I don't even know. I don't even know how many packs of Pokemon cards we've opened from this Go collection alone. Is it upwards of 50? It might be upwards of 50. This is the inside of the box for anybody that wants to see. Got the little... Very cool. Very fun, dude. I love it. That's very bougie. Very bougie, very fancy. Love that I have a deck holder now. Now I gotta get my phone actually set up so we can collect the video. We're going to be able to see the video. Let's pull it up. I have too many cards. I agree. I have too many cards as well. I'm right there with you. All right, I am connected. Let me real quickly. Try to avoid any doxing of myself. Always the ultimate goal. As best as I am able. I'm going to strive for no doxing. Okay. Oh, that feels too far away. It do feel too far away. If I zoom in, it's gonna blur everything, isn't it? It's also to the side. That's not very kind. I don't know, does that feel like poor quality? Is that okay? Does that feel okay for everybody? Hopefully that feels all right. It's not the best quality it could be, but to drop down the phone another tier would be kind of annoying. It's not the end of the world, though. I can do it. Ooh, there's actually 2. There's a Dragonite V and a Dragonite V-Star. Go. Actually, two Dragonites in here in the Pokemon Go collection. Fancy. Fancy. All right, if it's all good with you, Pineapple, then let's just go for it. All right, we got 16 packs of Pokemon cards here. 16 packs. I need a Ditto. I am owed a Ditto, okay? Can we just be real? I'm owed one. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve this Ditto. Dudes, I got a text from Frost from LTN. His first pack of Pokemon Go cards had a Ditto. His first one he ever opened. Charmeleon, Pupitar, Apom, Bulbasaur, Pidove, Magikarp, Onix, not a Ditto, Sweet Venusaur. 15 packs left. We got 15 packs left. We got 15 packs left. There's still plenty of chances, folks. It doesn't have to be the first pack. It doesn't have to be. Just could be. It just was for Frost for some reason. And practically was for Xando as well. 1, 2, 3 to the front. Here we go. Whoops. Don't know why I put it over there. Steelix. Sweet looking Steelix. Wartortle. Slowbro. Thinkin. Ampabomb. Slowpoke. Onix. Charmander. Bidoof. Articuno. Melmetal V. Yep. Look. It's alright, okay? That's 2 down. 2 down out of 16. You know how far we are? We're not far at all. We still got tons of time. We got tons of time and tons of cards left, okay? So don't stress. You're stressing. I can tell you're stressing, okay? Stop. No need to be stressed. No need to be stressed. Pack number 3. 1, 2, 3 to the front. I can't believe they still have not, by the way, announced the Pokemon Go or the Pokemon trading card game online. Still, to this day. We were talking about that months ago. Egg Incubator, Charmeleon, Meltan, Squirtle, Tranquil, Charmander, Eevee. Still love that Eevee art. Meltan, and another Venusaur. It's fine. Look, you're freaking out. You're freaking out. You're freaking out. Stop, stop. Come on, you guys. Don't freak out. We're fine. We got so many packs. We got so many packs left. Calm it down. Rein it in, folks. 1, 2, 3 to the front. Got this. We got this. Spark. Ariados. Blanche. Magikarp. Meltan. Eevee. Pikachu. Natu. I love that Pikachu so much. And if I were not furious, my heart would be strangely warmed. Xando, I don't know where you are, but I have a feeling Helen wants this one. I'm going to set this one to the side. I don't know if you've gotten that one yet. I just got a feeling. Love that Blastoise. Sweet art. Sweet art. Love everything that's happening. 25% of the way through. It's fine. It's a quarter. It's a quarter of the way through. Come on. We still got 3 quarters. You know the odds? You know the odds of 3/4 of the way? You guys, there's still such a chance. There's still such a chance for this Ditto, okay? It's happening. Ivysaur. Look right there. Wartortle. Rare Candy. Pidove. Magikarp. Onix. Eevee. Numel. Pupitar. Zapdos. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. It's the next pack. It's the next one. Pokemon's trying to build up suspense, you know? In all honesty, if I don't get a Ditto today, what does that mean? Am I in the Truman Show? Are you guys all actors? And this is some kind of grand conspiracy? I really want to know how many packs of Pokemon cards I've unboxed. Just for Pokemon Go. It has to be in the 70s, 80s even. Easily. Sweet Mary! Finally! Oh man. I can't believe it. I just can't even believe it. I just can't even accept it. Whew. This is it. That's it, right? I mean, I see the tiny Ditto in the bottom. Finally! I have tried so hard for this stinking card, dude. All I've wanted. I feel like I should cut it in half. I feel like it deserves to get cut in half. I'm not gonna peel it until the very end, Xando. You know what? You guys have been with me for this entire journey, and it doesn't get peeled until the end of the show, or until the end of the cards unboxing at the very least. There's another of those Pikachus. Xando, does Helen have this Pikachu? Because I owe you it. I've gotten 2 of them now. How many packs in? I am 5. Is this pack 6? Pack 5? Something like that. Watch just the rest of them be Dittos, dude. Now that I've got it, it's not fun anymore, right? Of course, Pokemon's like the Truman Show. It's because I said the Truman Show thing. I foiled the producers. I see you, producers. I see you. I know you're here. Okay? All right, with your backwards male, what's his name? What's the paperboy cap? See you. Here we go. She doesn't have it, I don't think. Well, if you want it, it's all yours, my friend. Of course. Whoo, so many cards. All right. I'm telling you, now that the producers know that I know that the Truman Show is my life, letting loose the reins, dude. Letting loose the reins. Ivysaur. Spark. Chansey. Oh, what am I thinking? I need to make a moment, you guys. For those of you that were here, I'm going to make a moment, of course. Create a moment. Joke's on you. I'm not even wearing a hat. All right, you guys did it. You guys did it. It's all thanks to you. Was that pack held together by tape? I put one of mine in the packs to sneaky prop for you. Right? Ampabomb. No, it was not. Thank you very much. There was signs that maybe like a hairdryer had been blown on one end, though. Some kind of heat resin on the bottom. Another sweet Moltres. Maybe 30. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I told my dad's favorite story earlier. That fantastic sandwich. That life-changing sandwich. And the ale 8. Delicious. Delicious. 1, 2, 3 to the front. All right. Tattoo. Rare candy. Lunatone. Meltan. Squirtle. So, Xanda, what I didn't say was, what I haven't told you yet was that Luke from LTN, Frost, messaged me yesterday his very first ever pack that he bought of Pokemon Go had a Ditto in it. Ain't that a kick in the pants? Ooh, Executor V, very nice. Set you aside, my friend. Very first pack. Ridiculous. I missed it, sadly. I was busy realizing that I've made a very poor financial decision. Oh no! Was it the hat that you mentioned that you don't have? Is there no hats on bats right now and that's the poor financial decision? You need a hats on bats? Welcome to the Ditto Club. Officially, dude. What's funny is I still only have one. And I only have 7 more packs. And this will mean I've opened like 80 packs of cards and only gotten a Ditto. But even still, the insult is still there. Lots of dupes. I'm gonna have so many dupes of the Goes. I ought to invest in a deck, dude. Ooh! Ah, Professor's research. Don't mind if I do, dude. Yes, very nice. Ooh, fancy, fancy. Oh, we like it. Look at that. Yeah, boy. That is a good one. That's quite the pull. I've gotten like all the rares. I wouldn't be surprised if I get another gold, dude. I'm telling you, it is wild. So many go dupes. Go many so dupes. No. It was misunderstanding the process weight of a portion of a cow. Dude, are you really describing to me the episode of I Love Lucy right now? Did you not learn your lesson? Did you not learn your lesson, man? Am I your Desi right now? Come on. Did you have a side of beef delivered to your home and they just kept bringing it in? You've never... Well, clearly you need to start, man. You got to catch up on I Love Lucy and the Andy Griffith Show because the two of them are going to teach you things you need to know. They're going to keep you... They are going to keep you from buying a side of cow, dude. Misunderstanding the process weight of a portion of cow and promising a friend almost the entire share that I would be getting, thus paying around $200 for me to get something like 5 pounds of beef. Okay, so it's almost the opposite of what I was describing, but I can't believe it. I can't believe that your premise sounds like an I Love Lucy episode. Blanche. Ivysaur. You gotta go back and watch I Love Lucy, man. The Hallmark. Vitamin of measurement. Do you poop out at parties? Are you unpopular? Ooh, I like that slaking. Heck yes, dude. Slacking. I've always wondered, has everyone watched the Andy Griffith Show, or is that a North Carolina thing? Because it's like a staple, right? But it was also filmed in North Carolina. But I feel like I'll hear people on like podcasts and stuff in LA talk about Andy Griffith and being just the living legend that he was in Hollywood, right? Kind of like a, he was kind of like a, what's his name? Now I can't think of the other guy's name. Cowboy, John Wayne. He was kind of a John Wayne type. Nope, says Pineapple. No, for real though, I thought I was getting about 120 pounds, and I'm really hitting some difficulty now because of this one. Oh no. Well, that's no fun. Never watched all of it, but I've seen a handful of episodes when I was younger. Watched all the time growing up. It's very interesting to me. I consider that a thing that I really like to ask more people. Especially considering the global nature of Checkpoint. I'd love to know more people who have or haven't. Switch to color was a mistake. Yeah. For most of the shows, man. And they switched from Gomer to Goober. Nobody liked Goober as much as Gomer. Come on. Hashtag Gomer Gang. Hashtag where my Gomer Gang at, dude? Lure module. Venusaur. Energy. Gomer Pile, dude. The best of the best. And then Barney left. Ugh. Just wasn't the same without Don Knotts, dude. You talk about a legend. I still get the warm and fuzzies anytime I ever watch, shoot, what was the name of it? With Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst. Not Kirsten Dunst. That's Spider-Man. No, was Kirsten Dunst in it? Who was in the Tobey Maguire? It was Reese Witherspoon? Who was in that movie? And what was the name of the movie? It was definitely Jeff from Dumb and Dumber. Don Knotts. Pleasantville. Who was the female lead? Was it Reese Witherspoon? I think it might have been Reese Witherspoon. I know it's Tobey Maguire. That one I know for sure, but I can't remember the female lead. Blanche. Reese sounds right. It does sound right. Soul Rock. Egg Incubator. Onyx. Pidove. Magikarp. Folks, we're still holding strong on one Ditto. Bidoof. Melt. Oh, yes! Oh! All the Radiants, baby! I got them all! I got every single one! Ooh! Oh, he gorgeous! Oh, he gorgeous! Look at the boy! Look at him, dude! Come on, come on. Come on. Get that lighting just right, homeboy. Oh, yeah. Excited heart. No, I have the Radiant Venusaur twice and the Radiant Blastoise. I don't have the Radiant Charizard yet. Heck yes, dude. Let's see. And Melmetal VMAX. Boom jams. I'm telling you, I've got like all the good cards. I've gotten so many good cards from this game. Because I've gotten so many packs that I can't handle myself. I don't know why I also can't remember Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels. I kept wanting to say Jeff Bridges, but that's not it. Almost got that complete. Man, that's hard to do, I tell you. That is hard to do, especially if you're going for the rares. Unpheasant. Rare Candy. Camerupt. Numel. Bulbasaur, love that art. Apom. Charmander. Eevee. Slowpoke. Not a Ditto, dude. Regular Blastoise. Energy. I'm telling you, man. This Pokemon Go. 3 packs left. I really want to go back and count. Honestly, I want to go back and count and see how many packs I've opened at this point. I've hit the rarity entirely wrong. Ariados. Blanche. Or I guess entirely right, depending on how you want to look at it. Tranquil. Charmander, Eevee, Natu, Ampabomb. I think that's my third. I think that's my third Radiant Venusaur. It should be the other way around. I should have 3 Ditto and 1 Radiant Venusaur. There's absolutely no reason I should have 3 of the Radiant Shiny Venusaur. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Third Radiant goes to Xando. That's the rule. Hey, look, I'm happy. I'm happy to give you some Radiance, man. I wish I'd brought my cards for you. I really should have. Should have brought my cards to just give you some. Wartortle. Slowbro. Lunatone. Raticate. Larvitar. Rattata. Spinnerk. Raticate. Raticate. Moltres. 1 Ditto. I have 1 pack left. 1 pack left. 1 pack. This is it, baby. This is all the beans. 1, 2, 3 to the front. Egg Incubator. Wartortle. I'm never buying another Pokemon Go pack. I'm never buying another Pokemon Go pack so long as I live. I want you to solemnly swear. I do not want another Pokemon Go card. Ever. Bibarel. Onix. Slowpoke. Bidoof. Magikarp. Charizard. That's a sweet Charizard, although it is not a Ditto. And Slaking V. Wow! 1 Ditto! 1! I would have half a mind. I would have half a mind. Do it. I would do it, dude. If I'd gotten 2, full honesty, I was going to cut the second one in half out of pure spite. I had every intention of cutting the second one in half. Out of rage, dude. Maybe I would have lit it on fire. A flame. A flame with rage. Yeah, I'm not going to burn your Ditto, man. I'm certainly not going to let your Ditto be burst to flame. That would be what the kids call not cool. That would be a curse to take. Not very based of me. All right, we're peeling the stinking Ditto. I want to know what this experience is like. So literally, for those of you that don't know the full story, okay? We started forever ago. Whenever they very first announced the Pokemon Go Pack, I think it may have been April. No, Quinn would have been here. So it was probably May. It was probably whenever I came back in May. They announced the Pokemon Go Pack coming out July 1st. July 1st, 3 months deep. 3 months, 16 days deep into Pokemon Go. First Ditto. They announced the Ditto packs. And I said, hey, this is a really neat mechanic they're doing. What a great gimmick. I can't wait to feel what the Ditto pack feels like. And now here we are. So long I've waited. Just literally my only question was, I wonder what it's gonna feel like. Is it gonna be a sticker? That's all I've wanted to know. And now I get to experience. This is it. This is the moment. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, folks. Here we go. That's a sticker. It was a sticker. It was a sticker all along. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Who could say? In the end, who could say? Who could say? Was it worth it? Was it everything I wanted it to be? Get this stinking sticker. What I need to do is get this sticker tattooed onto my body. Ooh, on the water bottle. You think it'll stick that well? I'm worried it might get wet, dude. I don't really have room. No, I don't have room. I'm so worried it'll get wet. I'm gonna store it on the Ditto card for now. You never peeled it? No, it straight up feels like a cheap sticker. Feels like a cheap holographic sticker. Oh my goodness. 3 months. 3.5 months to peel that sticker. Oh, can you believe it? It took me 3.5 months, and they gave me a pack of stickers in the premiere ball. I could have just gone out and bought some stickers, dude. Nora's got some Pokemon stickers on top of the fridge for a price chart. Oh, wow. Now we're going to move on to our next activity for the day, and I'm going to take it back to just chatting. I'm very excited that all of you are here for this. I hope you'll help me with this debate and these decisions. I'm going to update our title since we've gotten through some things here. Well, maybe I will. As soon as stream info successfully updated. It's just not going to go away. All right, well, here we go. Okay. What Pokemon could win against a lion? Have you heard this, friends? Have you heard about the lion debate right now? There's a big debate. Now, it's actually a little different. The actual debate going on is 1 billion lions versus all of the Pokemon. 1 billion lions versus all of the Pokemon. That's the debate. We're going to take it 1 lion because there's no need for 1 billion. That's just simply too many. Let's work our way up from the transitive property. Let's work from the smallest common denominator and find out what Pokemon could defeat a lion with Gen 1. We're going to start with Gen 1 today, and we're going to see how this goes and see what you guys think. I agree, Pineapple. I think Pokemon would win. But a lot of people are like, I don't know, 1 billion's a lot. And I'm like, yes, but Pokemon that are pretty OP exist. So let's look into it. Honestly, I think the winning example that you really can't argue with is just rock Pokemon. Like, what are they going to do against rock Pokemon? Like, I don't know if 1 billion lions could win against a Geodude with enough time. That's an absurd thing to say. That's such a ridiculous thing to say. Okay, so we're going to go through the original 151. Okay. So the parameters with which we're going to be doing this. I got your gachapon. The parameters with which we're going to be doing this.
All of these gachapons. I mean, come on.
Man, so look at how much bigger this deck holder is than the 10. I don't know if you can get a good size comparison here, but it's probably a good like 10%, 20% bigger. Interesting. I don't know why that's important for you to know, but it's important. Okay, I got your gachapon, Xando. 1 is a deity. Technically, there are several deities, but 1 is like the deity. Reverse. Whenever I play some Pokemons, I guess I'll turn the mouse upside down. Maybe I'll save this for Wednesday night's Overwatch. That feels like it'd make more sense for Overwatch. By the way, that's what we're playing on Wednesday, folks. Wednesday night game together is going to be Overwatch 2. All right, Xando, here is your movie game. A weatherman covering rodent-influenced weather phenomena relives the same day over and over again, where he buys a creepy robot child to fill an emotional hole, but it doesn't, so he drops it off in the woods like an animal. That's a lot. A weatherman covering rodent-influenced weather phenomena relives the same day over and over again, where he buys a creepy robot child to fill an emotional hole, but it doesn't, so he drops it off in the woods like an animal. Pretty good one. Pretty good one, if I do say so myself. All right. So here's the parameters of the day. 1 lion versus each Pokemon. Is it OP? Is it an easy win? Is it a fair fight? Could go either way. Is it an easy loss? Or is it an oof loss? Okay? Those are the parameters we're playing within. No weaponry. No outside resources. No help from another lion. It's 1v1. This is mano y mano. Mano y mano. 1 lion. We're going to assume it's a tough lion versus a Pokemon. Okay? So we're going to start with the obvious, Bulbasaur. I love Bulbasaur. Personally, big fan of Bulbasaur. However, he's the size of a Frenchie, and he's a cabbage. It's not going to be pretty, okay? Oof. Bulbasaur is getting really, really badly decimated. It's going to be very sad. I'm not going to like it, but I got to be honest with myself and acknowledge that Bulbasaur is literally going to be a tossed salad. He's going to be a side salad at the Denny's, okay? He's going to be destroyed and decimated. It's going to be bad. Ivysaur's a little bit bigger, but at the end of the day, still really just a slightly bigger Frenchie that remains to be just a cabbage. So I'm going to say definitely an oof as well. Venusaur, however, is a totally different story. Venusaur is a dinosaur, okay? Venusaur is a literal dinosaur. A big old boy with a tree on its back. I've seen lions, okay? And they're pretty big. They can get pretty big, but they aren't as big as a dinosaur. However, I think that a lion is going to be significantly more agile than a Venusaur. At the end of the day, Venusaur is a big old lumbering oaf, and is still really just a plant thing. So I think I'm going to give it a fair fight. It does have sleep powder. It does have some special moves, but I'm going to try to stay clear of the special moves and try and imagine that all they can do is just fight like a normal animal. Just in the interest of trying to make sure that I don't give it too much credence. Because Solar Beam is eradicating a lion, right? So what I'm going to call it is a fair fight. I'm going to say I could see this one going either way. I think that if the lion was able to get quickly enough, then I think Venusaur would lose. I think if Venusaur has the size with which to just pummel this lion, then there's a good chance. Charmander is a lizard, right? Charmander is a big lizard. He does have fire. I think the fire would probably spook the lion. I think that I could see this being a fair fight just because of the fact that he has fire, but he's a pretty tiny little guy. He's a tiny little guy, and he's a scared little guy. And I don't know, honestly, how scared of fire lions are. I'm going to say that he's probably losing. Charmeleon, slightly bigger, but still, I don't know. I'm going to give this one also a fair fight because he is bigger. He does have the claws now, still has fire, more of an understanding of how to use them. He's a small dragon at this point. Charizard is a literal dragon, breathes fire. There is no chance for this lion. There is no chance. There's no chance. Just a part of his anatomy is that he breathes a flamethrower. And while I think that a little pepper breath might be effective, a lion might be able to skirt around a pepper breath, I don't think any lion is messing with a flamethrower. Not to mention he can fly. I'm saying OP. I think he would obliterate him. Squirtle is a turtle. And I'm sure his shell is pretty tough. But I'm afraid to say that Squirtle's losing. Squirtle's probably going to be a little turtle soup. Not going to be pretty. War Turtle, still probably an easy loss. I still don't think, his water gun is just not enough. It's not the same as fire, but he's definitely tougher than his Squirtle form. Blastoise is a giant turtle. Got that going in his favor. However, at least here on Earth, even a large turtle is still just a turtle at the end of the day. But his cannons make things significantly different. But at the end of the day, they're still just water. So I'm going to say it's a win. But I don't know how easy of a win it is. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to take that away. I'm going to take away an easy win and an easy loss. Because that's kind of what OP and oof mean anyway. Would the lion be able to get through the shell? I think that it'd be able to get through the shell of a Squirtle and maybe a War Turtle, but a Blastoise is going to be real tough, right? So if he could withdraw within himself and wear the turtle out or wear the lion out, I think that's a possible victory. I think Blastoise is crafty enough and can hit hard enough that he can win. Caterpie, I'm so sorry. Caterpie, we don't even need to debate, do we? Metapod, come on. I know you got hardened, but it just ain't enough. Now, Butterfree, on the other hand, it depends on the Butterfree strategy. On one hand, the Butterfree is just a bug. If Lion even gets one shot on the Butterfree, Butterfree's done for. But if Butterfree can strategically use poison and its powders, then maybe. I'm going to call this one a fair fight depending on who moves first. Weedle, come on. Weedle's done for. Kakuna, come on. Done for. Now, Beedrill, on the other hand, I'm kind of going the Butterfree route, but a step lower. I think he's going to lose purely because at the end of the day, his best weapons are going to require close range combat. And if he goes close range against a lion, he's done for. You think Butterfree is a loss for sure? Tell me why. Tell me why my method wouldn't work. If he got high up in the air enough, got him to sleep, poisoned him, I think it would have to be covert. How high can a lion jump? How high do the lion jump might be a question. Pidgey is a bird. Pidgey's done for. Pidgeot is a bigger bird. Pidgeot is done for. Or Pidgeotto. Pidgeot is the biggest bird, but is still just a bird and can only get close range. I'm going to say maybe he'll put up a fight because he's big, but it's ultimately going to be a loss. Rattata's a rat. Rattata's going to lose bad. Even if Lion is poisoned, it won't lose right away. But yeah, but with time, I think it could be a fair fight. It all depends on who gets the first move. If Butterfree is able to get up high enough and away from the lion, then I think we got ourselves a win. Raticate is biting hard. You can't say Pidgey loses. See, no, here's the logic, okay? What does Pidgey have? Pidgey has claws. Pidgey is going to attack with claws close range. Butterfree only wins because of distance. Butterfree exclusively wins because of a distant moveset. That's the only logic difference here. That's the only logical difference. And that's the same difference. Gust and Whirlwind, yeah, but how much is that going to affect? I feel like I'm able to wrap my head around a powder before I am a big gust of wind. That's my only issue. It's the weapon as well as its purpose. I don't know if Gust is messing up a lion. It's gotta be the poison. Poison is the secret that allows Butterfree to win. And again, I'm not saying it wins. I'm saying it's a fair fight. Raticate is losing, but I think Raticate would probably get some gnarly bites in before ultimately becoming a snack. Spearow is for sure losing. Fearow, again, it's the close range thing. I think it's going to be a similar situation to the Pidgeot. I think it could put up somewhat of a fight, but at the end of the day, it's going to lose because it's just a big buzzard. Ekans, I'm sorry to say, Ekans is going to have to lose. He's just a small snake. What's up, H-Man? We're answering the age-old question of who would win, Pokemon or Lion. Arbok puts on a different bit of scenario because how big is Arbok? Does anybody know how big an Arbok is off the top of their head? Honestly, all this information would have helped. Let's look up Bulbapedia. Holy smokes. Arbok is 12 feet long. Okay, the average lion is 6 to 7 feet long. Arbok is 11 feet long. That's a big snake. That's a real big snake. I'm going to say with Arbok, oh man, I don't think either one of them are getting out alive. Can I be real? I don't think either one of them are getting alive. I think they're both going to die. Can we add that scenario? Is that considered a fair fight? Or can we add like a can we add like what's the phrase? What's a good way of putting it? that they both lose. Double KO. A tie. I want them to both die. I'm gonna say double KO. Okay. Hang on, I want to change the colors because the colors are gonna look better than this. Nope. Nope. Why do I keep doing this? I'm trying to click the gear, I promise. Yeah. There we go. If the Pokemon could beat a lion, yeah, I think Arbok is the double KO. I think they're both losing. They're both losing that one because the Arbok is going to poison it and it's going to die. Pikachu's mouse, I'm so sorry, Pikachu. Electricity, however, does make it a little bit more challenging. Electricity bringing into things maybe doesn't make it an oof, but Pikachu's pretty tiny. He is fast, but a lion is pretty fast too. I think Pikachu's probably going to lose. I'm sad to say it. I don't want Pikachu to lose because he's my Pikachu. He's my boy. But I think that Pikachu just can't handle the pure jaw strength of a lion, you know? But I do at least don't think it's going to be an oof. I think it's going to be somewhere. It's going to be a fight, but it's not really a fair fight. Lion's going to ultimately win. Raichu is a bigger mouse that hits harder. And maybe it just really depends. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, imagine a zookeeper, right? How they might restrain a lion might be with electricity. And this is like pure bottled electricity, right? This is like touching an electrical outlet. So I think that a Raticate could probably win, maybe fair fight. This is a similar to the Butterfree situation. It really depends on who gets in there first. Really depends on who gets in there first. Sandshrew is definitely going down. Sandshrew is really just a rodent at the end of the day. Yeah, he doesn't really even have any claws. At least Sandslash has some claws. I'll give him some, like, probably gonna lose, but it might be at least a fight. Let's see, Nidoran is a rabbit. It ain't happening, folks. It ain't happening. I'm not gonna, well, actually I'm gonna say an oof for both the Nidorans. Nidorina, maybe put up a little bit of a fight, but it's still gonna be pretty weak. Gonna be pretty weak, pretty bad loss. Whoopsie, nope, wrong one. Nidoqueen, on the other hand, I need to look up, let me look up some information on Nidoqueen. Let me see how big a girl is a Nidoqueen? Come on, Bulbapedia. I need your help. Nidoqueen is, only 4 feet tall. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, Nidoqueen. I'm so sorry. Nidoqueen probably can't hack it, dude. Nidoqueen is just a small human. Nidoqueen is just a human wearing an umpire's outfit. Oh, Nidoqueen's just an umpire, dude. That's real funny. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure Nidoqueen hits hard, you know? And you could probably look through her move set and find a move that you'd be like, yes, of course, that would take down a lion. But I'm just talking like, imagine just a scuffle. I think Nidoqueen loses. Now let's look up Nidoqueen. Nidoking, I mean. Hopefully he's a little bigger. Yikes, dude. 4 feet tall. That's just so small. He does have the spike. The spike certainly helps. I don't know, dude. I think Nidoking is stubborn, and I think there's a chance that Nidoking would get his horn in and would poison him. So I'm gonna go with a double KO situation here. I don't think Nidoking's going down without a fight to the death. Nidoking is territorial and is gonna either take down that lion or get taken down himself. Clefairy is mystical, and Clefairy has a lot of long distance moves, but It really depends on if Clefairy's able to get away, and I don't think it's going to be able to. And so at the end of the day, it's just a stuffed animal. I think it's going to be a loss. I would even go with it depends on if they get like a handicap. Clefable is just a bigger stuffed animal. It still depends on if they're able to get to the right time. Vulpix is just a fox, a small fox even. I don't think a fox can compete to a lion. And it does have fire. So there's a chance that if fire intimidates it, there might be some kind of pushback. See, I'm going to give Ninetales probably the same fair fight as Charmeleon. I think that Ninetales has got the mastery of the ability. And I think Breathes Fire is going to be real intimidating. I think the lion would be scared. And that might win. It's tough. It's tough. I'm going to give Vulpix a loss until somebody can give me more than just Breathes Fire. I need an episode of the anime, or I need like I need somebody to play through the scenario with me to better represent, because I'm going to give Ninetales the fair fight. Definitely. I think Ninetales could win just as many times as it loses. You're so demanding. I am very demanding. Jigglypuff is virtually identical to Clefairy and Clefable in the sense that it's really just a mystical thing that can put people to sleep. But man, have you ever seen how quick it is at putting things to sleep? It's real fast. It is real fast. But what's it gonna do? I guess Pound. Pound is a pretty tough move, yeah. See, but if I'm not gonna give it just because it's Sing. I'm gonna give it because it's Jigglypuff's Sing. Because lots of Pokemon can learn Sing, but Jigglypuff's is special. Jigglypuff's doesn't require much distance. It's very effective. I just worry about what it would do after it was asleep. You're about to tell me Jiggly has a better chance than a fire-breathing fox? The only reason I'm saying it is because of the Sing. I'm even going to say Wigglytuff would lose before Jigglypuff would, because Jigglypuff's whole thing is singing. My fear for Jigglypuff is that it's not going to be able to get away. Because my excuse with Butterfree was that Butterfree can get away and then do its moves. Jigglypuff can't get away. So if the lion gets one little like pop on the Jigglypuff pops and is gone. I just worry. I worry Jigglypuff wouldn't be able to do it. Wigglytuff definitely not, because Sing is not its thing. The only reason I'm considering Jigglypuff is because Sing is its thing. Sing is its whole aesthetic is Sing. I just think lions are real mean. Lions are real mean and real fast. And I just worry. I just worry. I think Jigglypuff's got to be a loss. There's just no way. There's just no way it gets there in time. Zubat can fly around, and that's pretty nice, but Zubat also and can confuse and is really good at that confusion. The flying animals are always going to be a little bit more tempting to me to say yes. But I think ultimately it is just a bat. If the lion gets a hold of the bat's going down. Yeah, going with a loss. Golbat, same thing. Same thing. Oddish, I'm so sorry. Oddish, you are just a houseplant. You're getting destroyed. Gloom, you're pretty gross. So I'm going to say a double KO because just looking at Gloom, it looks like it would kill whatever ate it, doesn't it? And I know Vileplume is based off the Death Plant along with Victory Bell. So definitely going to die. Both of them are going to die with that scenario. Paris, I think Paris looks poisonous as well. So I'm honestly going to go with the double KO there. Parasect, same situation. Venonat is just a bug. Just a bug. Boom. Venomoth could have the same argument as Butterfree, so I'm going to go up here with Fair Fight. Diglett. Diglett is a weird one. Diglett has the ability to get down in the ground and evade, right? Now, I've seen a bear dig, and they're very effective. But I've never seen a lion dig. I think Diglett could have it. But Diglett it's gonna be like one of those, it's gonna be like a whack-a-mole. If Diglett can go fast enough, then I think Diglett could probably do it. But if Diglett gets caught even once, it's done for. So I'm gonna go with the Fair Fight. I've seen a dragonfly. I've even seen a horsefly. All right, Meowth, I'm so sorry. You're a cat. Goodbye. You're just a bigger cat. Goodbye. Psyduck, you're just a duck, buddy. You're just a duck. Goodbye. Golduck, you're a bigger duck. How big is Golduck? How big? I mean, Golduck is gonna lose, but the question is how bad. Let's look up Golduck. Let's see just how big Golduck is. Golduck is 5 feet tall. I'm sorry, buddy. Golduck is not surviving either. I'm going to say Golduck will put up more of a fight, but not enough. Primeape just kind of bounces around a whole lot. I'm going to say Primeape would probably need to lose. I don't know if it's going to be an oof. I'm going to give it a lose. Now, or excuse me, Mankey. Primeape, however, as it looks like it would murder whatever it encounters. So I'm going to go with a double KO here. I don't see it beating the lion, but I do see it not giving in until they're both gone. Growlithe, I'm so sorry, buddy. You're a puppy dog, and you're going to lose, just like Vulpix. Same reason, really. Growlithe, however, wins. Now, why, you're asking, does Growlithe win and Ninetales not win? And I don't have a reason. So I'm willing to move Ninetales up, but Growlithe wins. I don't know why, but Growlithe wins. He's so big. He's such a big boy. Okay, Poliwag is not going to win. We haven't really addressed the water situation. We haven't actually addressed the water situation of this. Is there a water nearby? Is this a fish on land situation? Because this totally changes everything, right? Because this could honestly be made to change the situation with Golduck, Psyduck, Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise. If they're in the water, the situation totally changes. But I'm talking about a large surface of water, because then they can dive underneath. They can go out deeper where the lion can't go. They can escape, right, for a breather. Yeah, I'm going to say it depends on environment, but given that where the lion would be, and we've already made so many assumptions with the water types, I'll say Poliwag is going to probably be an embarrassing loss. Sorry to say the same thing about Poliwhirl. Poliwrath, I'm afraid you're going to lose. You don't look quite as mean as Primeape, so I'm not willing to give you the double KO. Abra, dude, I can't even catch an Abra, so there ain't no way a lion's catching an Abra, right? It's teleporting all over the place. However, I think eventually probably going to get caught, and I'm going to give it a loss. Because it's going to eventually get caught. Eventually the lion's going to figure it out. If any of you have ever been cat owners, you should know that eventually the cat wins the game. If the lion is in a zoo, of course, it's got to be in its natural habitat. Kadabra has honed its senses. I think Kadabra could be a fair fight. It really just depends on how quickly the lion is able to get to it. If it's able to teleport away and use its psychic powers, it's going to win. But it could be either way. Alakazam wins. Alakazam is OP, actually. Alakazam is kind of like a Dr. Manhattan of the situation, where the lion wouldn't even like get towards him when he just pop. Machop, I'm so sorry. You're a little boy. You're a little boy fighting a lion. You're a little boy fighting a lion, and you don't look like Samson to me. So I'm sorry to say you'll lose. Machoke, you're a bigger boy. You're a bigger boy fighting a lion. You're still going to lose. Machamp has 4 arms. And 4 arms. So I'm going to say that Machamp, there's a chance There's a good chance. I'm willing to give it a fair fight, just depending on the tenacity of this lion. But Machamp, I think I'm willing to give it that it could win. I could see it in 100 computer-generated situations. I could see it winning half the time and losing half the time. Bellsprout is a Bellsprout. An unfortunate loss. Why did this not auto-queue? All right, it looks like the music is still playing for y'all at least. Oh boy. Weepin' Bell, probably gonna lose. Victory Bell, again, is based off of a literal poisonous plant. So I'm gonna say that's a double KO situation for the same reasons. It was, but music is gone. Oh no. Now why would it do such a thing? Hi, hi, hi. Why are you disconnected? I got impatient, you guys. This is why you don't get impatient. Well, for what reason are we not connected? Devices. I did not. I would never say such a thing. Okay, it says connected. Spoofy's not responding. Why ever not? Well, Spoofy's not responding right now. Okay, we'll continue going. Tentacruel, sorry, you're gonna lose. Tentacruel, excuse me. Tentacruel is a kaiju. Tentacruel wins. Geodude. This is where we're gonna get in disagreements here, friends. This is where we're gonna get in disagreements, perhaps. Geodude's a rock. Geodude's a rock. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Geodude is a rock. And I don't care how hard a lion hits a rock, Geodude's a rock. Geodude wins. Graveler's rock. Graveler wins. Golem? Golem's rock. Golem wins. Golem's also a big rock that spins. Golem's OP. Golem smash. Golem smoosh. Honestly, Graveler also smoosh. At least Geodude, assumably, would take some, like, oomph. But these two just smoosh immediately. Okay, now Flaming Horse does have a bit of a different situation on it, because no matter what, Flaming Horse is burning, just simply is burning Lion. Right? I'm gonna try and pull up Task Manager, see if I can. Nope. Spoofy's just fighting me. Spoofy's just not happy with me. Let's see. Also very fast. Let's look up some Ponyta facts. Let's see. You can't find stream beats anymore on YouTube, by the way. For those of you that didn't know. It's pretty hard to find now. Let's try arcade. Is that crazy loud? How does that feel? Feels a little loud in my hair, in my ears. If it's a little loud, I can definitely turn it down. By the way, not doing this for a week, I forgot just how tiring it was. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. It's not even been but an hour and a half. All right, Ponyta is a Fire Horse. Fire Horse, I think, is going to have a pretty good time. I think the Fire Horse is probably going to win. I think Fire Horse is probably going to win. Big Fire Horse with Unicorn Horn is probably going to decimate. Honestly, I'm going to put that with Arcanine. I'm going to put this one, yeah, down here. Because maybe Lion perseveres. Maybe Lion perseveres and pushes past the fire, but I don't think so. Slowbro, I'm sorry. Slowbro, you lose. I will give it... No, I'm going to give it a full loss. Or excuse me, Slowpoke. Slowbro, probably still going to lose. It does have the shell. It does have some cool psychic powers, but it's also kind of goofy. Kind of goofy. It feels so loud in my head. Magnemite is a ball of steel. Wins. Magneton is 3 balls of steel. It wins big time. Farfetch'd, buddy, I love ya. I love ya. You're my pal and my friend. But you're a bird at the end of the day with a leak. Loss. No, you need to lose just like the rest of them. Doduo is a gangly bird. Loss. Dodrio is an angry bird. I'm going to give it a double KO because Dodrio just looks like somebody that would mess you up, doesn't it? I think so. Seal is a seal. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever seen a seal in real life? They're pretty intimidating. They're big, they're girthy, they don't play around. All right? They're chonky. They're heavy. They're filled with blubber. Presumably, they could do some damage. I don't think it would win. I think it's going to lose. I do think Dugong might be able to use its critical mass to double KO. Why are we oofing? Why are we oofing? Pineapple. What are we feeling? What have I done wrong? Grimer, I'm going to say double KO because I don't think that anybody can eat Grimer or Muck and survive. Shelder can hide in its shell. Pretty effective, but eventually is going to lose. They don't like land. They don't like land, you're right. I don't think that there's no way they're going to win. There's no way they're going to win. But I think there's a good chance. Cloyster is stronger than Shelder, can close better, and has spiky spikes. Say a fair fight potentially could win. Odds are not in its favor. Ghastly is a ghost. There's no way that the Lion could win because Lion can't touch Ghost. Ghost wins. Hunter, also Ghost. Gengar, also Ghost. And also Sneaky Ghost. They're all winning. I don't think any of them are necessarily OP. They just all win. Onyx is a rock. A very, very fast rock. Onyx wins. Drowsy's just kind of a creepy Winnie the Pooh. They do both have psychic powers. They also have hypnosis powers. They're very good at getting their enemies to sleep. I could see honestly both of these being a fair fight as long as the Lion doesn't get them before they get a chance. Krabby's a crab. Krabby's a crab. Krabby probably gets torn apart and made into some delightful cake. Is the music doing what it's doing? Why is it doing it? Spoofy, please. Spoofy, please! Why? Why do you hate me, Spoofy? Let's turn down our audio quality. Huh? There's 144p. Maybe that'll work better for us. Kingler is a bigger crab, but is ultimately still a crab at the end of the day. Voltorb is an electric ball. I don't know what the ball is made of. Does anybody know what Voltorb is made of? The running theory is that Voltorb is a Pokeball that was exposed to an energy pulse. I think Voltorb's winning. I think Voltorb is winning for the same reason Magnemite is winning. I don't know how you would defeat them. Execute is a bunch of eggs. So sorry. Executor is a tree. And cats like taking their claws to trees. I'm going to say that Executor, if it understands what is happening, maybe it could fight back, but probably not. It's probably going to be a fair fight at best, a loss at worst. Cubone, I'm so sorry, little buddy, but you are just a little puppy dog with a bone. You're going to lose. Marowak, probably the same thing. You're just little puppy dogs with bones. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, you're just people, dude. You're just people. Lickitung, all you have is your licky tongue. Loss. Coughing and wheezing both are going to be a double KO, either because of self-destruct or because they would probably just kill it with its poison gas. Rhyhorn is rock. Rhyhorn is a rock. Rhydon is a rock. Rhydon also is a rock drill. Chansey, I feel bad to say it because I love Chansey so much, but Chansey's not surviving this. I think Chansey is going to be a loss. Tangela is going to be a loss. Kangaskhan is going to be a double KO. I don't think Kangaskhan's going to go down without killing this thing. Horsey is a loss. Seadra is probably going to be a loss. Goldeen is a big oof. Seeking is oof. Staryu is probably going to put up a fight. Starmie would put up a fight, but they both ultimately lose. Mr. Mime, I'm so sorry, Mr. Mime. You're getting torn apart limb by limb. Scyther, I'm afraid you would probably put up a fight. I don't know, those are blades on your hands. I'm gonna say that's a fair fight. I'm gonna say those are literal blades on its hands. So I could imagine it winning just as often as losing. Jinx, I'm so sorry. You're losing. Electabuzz, I think would be a double KO situation. I think Electabuzz would put up a pretty fair fight. No, we'll put down fair fight. They don't have to necessarily die. Magmar, similar situation. No, honestly, Magmar wins. Magmar wins. Yeah. Pinsir. So Pinsir are known for clamping their claws on things and snapping them in half. So I'm going to give it a fair fight because that's pretty brutal. That's how they're actually described in the Pokedex, and I think that's pretty gnarly. Tauros, probably double KO situation. It would probably gore the lion, but the lion would also get some good hits in. Magikarp, oof. Sushi. Gyarados, probably winning. Yeah, Gyarados is winning. Lapras, ooh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. On land, probably not going to be great. I'm going to give it a fair fight. Ditto would turn into a lion, and then they would double KO each other. I've never seen another lion fight a lion. Eevee, I'm so sorry, Eevee. You're a puppy dog. Water Eevee, probably going to lose, dude. Electric, the Jolteon is probably going to be a fair fight, if not a win. Flareon, same. Fair fight, if not a win. Porygon transcends digital space. That's a weird fight for a lion. Plus, it can fly. I think Polygon would win. Porygon would win. Omanite and Omastar, I'm sorry, buddies. You do have your shell, so I'll give you some time, but you're going to be the same situation. You're both probably going to lose. I'll give Omastar maybe. Omastar maybe. Kabuto, buddy, you don't even really have a hard shell. You're getting oofed. Kabutops does have knives for hands. I'm going to give it a fair fight. Aerodactyl's a dinosaur. Win. Snorlax would crush the lion. Win. Articuno is an ice bird. Win. Zapdos, ice bird, or electric bird. Win. Moltres, firebird. Win. Dratini, ooh, you're just kind of a slippery little fella. Probably gonna lose. Dragonair would maybe be a fair fight just because it has better handle on its powers. Dragonite is a dragon. OP. Mewtwo, OP, come on. Same situation with the Dr. Manhattan, just kind of snaps and it evaporates into nothing. Same with Mew. Boom. Boom jams. There is my assessment. Can this Pokemon defeat a lion? I'm going to say that all of these would not only defeat them, they would obliterate them. All of these would win. These would probably result in a double KO situation where one would lose. They would both lose together. A fair fight, this means in a lab experiment where there are 100 tests, 50 go to one, 50 go to the other. Loss, these are all the Pokemon that would lose. And then an oof, these are the Pokemon that would not just lose, but it would also be NSFW. It would also not be suitable to be seen by anyone under the age of 18 on YouTube. It would have to be marked not for children on YouTube. And that's my list. I'm going to mark that down and put it over on Put it over on the Discord. So if you want to engage with us and let us know your thoughts on what Pokemons would or would not survive, let me know. With the ghosts could be OP. They could be OP. I mean, there's technically no like losing with them. They're gonna win no matter what. I chose to put them just purely in win because I didn't see them as being like, I don't know, like transcendent. Even maybe Gengar could have been like transcendent, could have been one that would have just like obliterated. Right, Lion would only have normal moves. There's no shot that the Lion would ever win against them. Yep. All right, now we gotta get some Pokemon White. It's time for some Pokemon White. We gotta see how much further we can get in the story in our hour and 25 minutes we got left in stream here, folks. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate those of you that are here, that are hopping in, that are enjoying the game. We're happy that you're here. Happy to have you here with us. Let's see. Let me pull up our DS screen here and get our category going right. All right, category has been updated. Boom, boom. Good news is now we have the delightful tunes of Pokemon White, so now we no longer have to worry about YouTube. I still don't know what the deal is with Spoofy. What's going on there? Folks, my throat really hurts, man. I'm tired. I am so beyond tired. There we go. All right, let's get into Pokemon White. I might have to go into chill mode because I'm exhausted, bro. That's real loud. And now this is crunchy. Why is it so crunchy? Is it not crunchy for you guys? Maybe it's just crunchy for me. I hope that's the case. I mean, it is crunchy. I can't even hear it. I think it's just me. I think it's only crunchy for me. And I don't know why. Like, are you guys still hearing it right now? I'm no longer hearing it, and it's incredibly crunchy whenever I do hear it. I don't understand. How come you don't love me, man? Oh, of course. Now nothing's playing. Ay, ay, ay. It's good to know that technology didn't change while I was away. Yep. I see that it's gone. Let's let it stop trying to connect. Connected? Okay. But I can't hear this. Okay. Now we just don't touch anything at all. All right, back into our journey in Pokemon White. Cozy mode engaged. Sleepy mode engaged. Don't honestly remember where I was. Probably should look at my team. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since the rock and roll. Just let me know if that's crazy loud for you guys, okay? Please and thank you. All right, Gundam, Hariyama, Ditto, Brian, Hertz, Moses. Psychic fire, electric fire, normal, dark, rock. Pretty solid team. Pretty solid team, but I don't know who I have to fight here. I think it's a bunch of normal types. Is that what it was? I have to take down this gym next? Was I grinding before the gym? I'm pretty sure she has a Herdier or a Stoutland. Bow, bow. I see. Oh, the book I'm reading now is called The Structure of the Locomotive. If you'd like to read this book, please let me know. I don't know. Oh, are you looking for a book? I think Nice to Meet You Pokemon is on a shelf near the entrance. Did it tell me I was looking for a book? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I want to read that book. I am the gym leader, Lenora. I hid 4 memos in this library. Each of them has a question. Can you solve the questions and come find me? Now this is the first question. What is the first Pokemon you met in this gym? The hint is on a bookshelf in the middle row. Now try to find it. Tepig. What? Oh no. Oh no. It's a Patrat. I'm so confused. I thought it meant the first Pokemon I met on my journey. The volcano. Locomotive. Okay. That's fine. We can fight, I guess. Something tells me I wasn't getting away without fighting you anyway. I don't really know if I have anybody to fight her normal types, though. Whoa, level 17. That's quite stronger than I am. Oof. Oh, man. I can't believe how tired I am. This stream, it's like I take one week off streaming and it's like my body doesn't even remember how to do it. What does assurance do? I can't look at the move? Okay. Okay. The good news is I couldn't remember what that did anyway, so could have been a dumb thing to do, for all I know. Folks, how are your weekends? How did everybody's weekend go? I hope it was good. My weekend was obviously great. I talked about it at length at the beginning of the stream here. We hope that everybody had a great weekend. As mentioned previously, we are not going to be having stream tomorrow, nor will we be having stream on Wednesday morning, but we will be playing Overwatch 2 together for our game together tonight on Wednesday. So keep an eye out. Was that all the damage I did from Rock Blast? I'm worried I might have to grind, friends. I'm getting a little worried that grinding might be in my future. Because, wow, level 17 is tough to beat. So much for Sand Attack. Weekend was pretty good overall. Thanks, of course. This is so loud in my ear. Wow. I mean, wow. I just couldn't do much less damage if I tried, dude. Yeah, we're gonna have to go do some grinding. Whew. I could go to sleep right here. I'm so tired. We'll see if I make it all the way to 4 o'clock or not. I've never known anyone so powerful. I don't hope so. The gym leader. It's impressive you found this place. That's what I expect from a challenger like you. Well, this is the third question. If you heat it up in a pot, it'll be delicious. What is this? Closer to the entrance than here. Poffins! Hey, thanks for the follow. Let's see. Kagurance. Welcome, welcome. Move 2 backward, 1 to the left, 2 forward, 1 to the right. 2 backward, 1 to the left, 2 forward, 1 to the right. Isn't that right where I am? Oh, 1 backwards. Is it not right there? Hang on. 2 backward. Wait. 1, 2. 1 to the left. 1, 2. 1 to the right. 1 down. Am I a doofy? What are you talking about? Two backwards, 1 to the left, 2 forward, 1 to the right, 1 backward. It's right behind me. What are you talking about? What do you mean? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. What do you mean, dude? What are you talking about? All right, well, whatever. I gotta go heal and grind anyway. Clearly, I'm not picking up what they're putting down. I must be too sleepy. Well, welcome in, Kagurance. How did you find us? Are you just a big Pokemon White fan? This is my first time playing through. I have gotten this far before, though. I'll let everybody know whenever we've gotten to a point that I don't recognize anymore. I don't want to go train up my fighting type. I have no interest in having Timber. Or whatever his name is. I seem to recall the last thing I did on stream was over here in this section fighting. But I don't remember if I finished or not. I kind of feel like I did. But I could be wrong. Guess it's worth a looky-loo. I do. That's a pretty cool Pokemons. I mean, I'm dead serious. I don't know if I'm making it to 4 o'clock today, guys. I am so tired. I'm swamped. It's like getting behind the camera has drained all of the strength from me. Oh, this has been a pretty high energy stream. Talking about lions, describing all of LTNCon. Wait, what? When did he heal himself? Did I miss that? Maybe it had like a berry or something? 3? All right, folks, what should be the name of this Audino? Drop it in the chat. First name I see. Audino, the hearing Pokemon. Its auditory sense is astounding. It has a radar-like ability to understand its surroundings through slight sounds. That's Audino, yeah. Woo! Woo! Not great with naming. That's all good. That's all good. It's an audio Pokemon. We can nickname it Waveform. Annabelle? I like Annabelle. That's fine with me too. Wink, wink. She does kind of look like an Annabelle. He. I love it. Unconventional. I can rock with it. All right. So yes, no stream tomorrow, no stream Wednesday morning. Game together, Overwatch 2 Wednesday night, and then Thursday morning, Wake with Nate, and then we're back on our normal routine. We're almost there, folks. You guys have powered through. You've powered through the weird couple weeks. I appreciate you powering through. Staying strong with us. We're having fun. We're enjoying ourselves. LTNCon was a great time. Very worth it. Worth going. Even if I am a tired Tucker. I'll take it. I'll take being a tired Tucker. We gotta do just a little bit of grinding. I like to at least to get everybody up to level 15 if I can. If not everybody, then at least more of them, you know. Sleep deep deep sleep beep beep deep sleep beep beep sleep beep beep. It's really just Hertz and Purloin now, so it's a good start. Ooh! Oh! Okay! Now I can rock with some throw. Now I wasn't interested in using any of the other fighting types, but I can rock with some throw, dude. Okay. Let's hope I don't KO him too quick. Good. Alright, I'm catching this throw, folks. You guys let me know what you want me to name him. I'm catching this little Muppet boy. It's happening. Go ahead and get to thinking about a name. I don't care what it takes. He's going to be my friend. I'm really going to need you not to crit, friend. Do not crit, Hurts. Cannot clearly enough state this. Do not crit. Do not crit. Thank you. Yikes! Yes, use next Pokemon. For the love of all that is good. We're catching this throw! Let's do it. Go big or go home, baby. No! Ah! Another one. He's worth it. I think he needs to be named Chuck. Oh, it was so close! Four more, baby. No, not even one? Oh, this is very bad. I don't want to kill him. We just got to keep going for it. Can always buy more Pokeballs later. Come on, throw! Throw, my dude! Good, he's doing Bide. Okay, well, if he's gonna do Bide, let's do some smaller balls. Save our great balls for if we need to whittle him down a little bit more. I'm just too scared of critting and losing him. No! All right, friends, do not judge me. We're save stating. Do not you dare judge. Load state. Now! Load state. Don't you judge me. I'm feeling judgment oozing from the chat right now. No! Do not judge me, Paraspectus! This is what technology is for! No! This is why we have technology. What other reason would we have technology if not for this? Save state. Boink. Come on, throw. I mean Chuck. Because you're gonna be mine. Your name is gonna be Chuck. Throw! Load state. Throw. Get in the ball, bro. Get in the ball. You're gonna be my friend. I don't care what it takes. This guy does not want to get caught. He has no interest to be part of our team. The team of a cheater. Come on! Okay, what are the odds? What are the odds that it sets up every single time? Well, we've already got the save state, so... Oh, good. Yikes! Oh, yes, intimidate. Very nice. Let's save state before we do this. Nice! Nice, dude! Let's get him, bro. Oh, he would look so good in a Premier Ball. Come on! Come on! 1, 2... No! How? How? He's so low health! What more do you want from me? Alright, let's save state. Hang on. What else can I do? The man won't be caught! I can't get him past the second shake. I cannot get him past the second shake. What is the deal? Look, I am willing to waste all these Pokeballs if I just get this guy. Come on, throw! What do you want, dude? What do you want from me? I've given you everything! I've given you my all, throw! Stay in the ball! Throw! What does Odor Sleuth do? I don't even know what that move means. How? How? How is he so tough to get? Get in the ball, throw. I wasted all of my Great Balls. I wasted every last Great Ball on this guy. When they encounter foes bigger than themselves, they try to throw them. They always travel in packs of 5. Throw, the judo Pokemon. His name is now Chuck, and I will hear nothing else. Thank you, Chuck. Now we're going to go get you, and you're going to be our best friend forever. You're going to be my friend, and I will love him, and I will